the Vixen series premiere. Now, I think like a lot of people, I was looking forward to this. It's the first animated DC show that the CW's decided to do. And for anyone who doesn't already know, we're going to get, I believe it's 6 episodes, so it's going to be, by the end, about 5 minutes long. So it's going to be, these tiny little episodes, that's just how they're all going to be, unfortunately. And this one, it already had the feeling like, oh crap, I didn't think that that was the end. I was just like, really just getting into it. We get to know just enough about the characters, and I actually enjoyed the way they did it. It was a cool, the start was a nice little action scene, and I'd actually seen that in the trailer, or some video I was watching, they kind of showed some of that, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool. We didn't get to hear the guys actually say any lines in this first episode, which surprised me, but, they go through, and then it's like her falling, and it kind of cuts there. I don't know if Vixen, I know obviously she can have the powers of animals. I don't know if she can flat out fly though, if she gets, or like even glide. I don't think she can actually do that if she wants to. So it'll be interesting when we finally get back to that, how she gets out of it. But, we get that little flash forward, then we go back in time 3 days, and we just get like a tiny bit of info. We see she's, in Detroit, which, fictional Detroit, every time I see Detroit, because that's where I'm from, every time I see that in any show, is like, that's not Detroit, but that's fine. At least they say it. So, they're in this fake diner and stuff, but it was cool. We got to see like her foster father, and she talks about her foster mother who passed away some time ago. So we do get a little bit of a connection between them, and we see that she's, even though she does care about them, she doesn't care enough to like actually call the guy. He kind of just found out that she was in town, and he bailed her out. So I thought that was kind of cool. It's like in this very, little chunk of time, we got just enough detail to know their relationship and stuff, and how she kind of acts, and how she's looking to be like a fashion designer, and how she acted when the cop mentioned like, oh, like the designs weren't bad and stuff. She kind of flipped out on him a little bit. So we got to see her personality and stuff, and it was pretty cool, and I enjoyed it. At the very end, one guy called her a bitch. I was like, oh, they're gonna actually swear in this. So I don't know if it's going to happen where we get to see that from Flash or Arrow. I would assume that if anyone's going to be doing it, it's definitely going to be Arrow. But it'll be interesting to see. Like, I enjoyed this first little episode. Like I said, it was funny just seeing like their version of Detroit. I was like, it's animated. I don't know how this is Detroit. But I was like, eh. And then they got robbed, and I was like, oh, that is Detroit. Like, it's spot on. I shouldn't say that. Even though I live here, I shouldn't say that. But it was a good first episode. I'm really excited to see the next one. I'm assuming that's when her powers come out. I'm also hoping that they don't do something really messed up and actually kill her foster father in like a 4-minute episode. I'd be like, that's just devastating. Even though we don't really know this character, it's like, man, she activates her powers, but he still dies or something. I'd be like, man, that kind of blows. So hopefully that doesn't happen. That would be an interesting note for them to take, where it kind of starts off like that's how she unlocks her powers, maybe, where he does end up getting killed. He just got punched in the gut for now. But this was a good first start. They definitely did it well, where it's like, here's an action opening, and then here's the story. I personally would have enjoyed more of the story, because like we know the action's going to be really awesome. I did love the chase scene, like some of the movements she did, because it's not like Flashy superpowers, and I don't mean like the Flash's abilities, but it's not over the top. It's like, she touches the amulet. They have like the little animal sort of aura, I guess is the best way to describe it. And then that's it, and she just has that power. So like, I think my favorite thing, as simple as it was when she was on the rooftop and she jumps and basically just rips the vent like right onto the ground, or out of, the roof of the building, and just puts it in their way. I was like, that was my favorite part. Even though she's like running up buildings and going like into camouflage and all this stuff, that was just my favorite thing. She just like grabbed it while running and just like ripped it off, and like, all right, there it is, and it's right behind her. But I loved all the little moves they had, and like I said, I was very surprised they didn't have like any dialogue for Flash or Arrow. That really surprised me, especially for Arrow, because he had, I think, 2 little moments where they would like do a close up of his face, and he was like sort of gasping, but there's literally no sound. It wasn't even like gasping or anything. So I thought it was kind of funny when they had those scenes, and he's just like, and there's like no sound, it's just the music in the background. But I enjoyed this first episode. Of course, I want to know what you guys thought about it. Of course, I'm ending, and now the air conditioning wants to shoot on. But I definitely want to know what you guys thought about this episode. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And I definitely want to know, for anyone who, whether you know about Vixen or not, even though of course it's only like 4.5 minutes, I want to know your interpretation of this character. Because admittedly, a lot of this first episode we had seen in trailers. Like I said, that pretty much that entire chase scene I'd seen in like one of the trailers. And, I was still okay with it. There was some other stuff that was in there that I hadn't seen, or it wasn't exactly all strung together. But I think I'd seen like every one of those clips except for like maybe one or two little bits and pieces from that chase scene. But I still enjoyed it. I thought they did pretty cool with how they represented her powers and stuff, because that's pretty much exactly how it is. My only real recollection is, like Justice League, which I'm sure is the same for a ton of people. It was basically the same. She's not in like the full like leopard outfit. I believe it was either a leopard or like a cheetah outfit she had. But it was kind of the same thing, except she has the amulet in this, and I don't remember if she had that in Justice League. I think it was just, she just switched and that was it. But it was the same thing. They would have like the vision, the sort of aura of the animal, and then boom, she has that power. So that's kept the same. I like the design for the character, and of course the first thing I thought, and I hadn't thought this until watching it, I was like, this is gonna be popular, of course. So who are they gonna get to play this woman in live action? And it made me think maybe they already had a plan in action, and they, maybe already hired someone, and possibly the actress who's doing the voice, the design is actually based off of the actress or something. So maybe that's how it is. Maybe it's not. I don't really know. Hopefully it is, because that obviously just makes it a million times easier. Like, all right, this is who we want, and then they just design it based off of that. Because, like in Justice League, she was like completely African, and she was like very dark skinned, and I think that's how she looks in the comic. So, of course, different design, but still looks really cool. Excited to see the next episode, even though it's going to be small. Still excited to see it. I think this was a great start. But like I said, want to know what you guys thought about this one, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.